Hello, everybody. This is Duncan Crosby again. I told you yesterday that we'd be going live every day to talk about wills and make sure that everybody is getting protected to do this sort of stuff. I know right now it's on a lot of people's minds, and if it's not, it really should be. All right. While we have a little bit more time, maybe we're at home, we're thinking about things that we can do to take care of ourselves and our loved ones while all of this coronavirus craziness is going on. A great way to do it, and really to do it all the time, it just happens to be on people's minds right now, is to get your will and trust and other kind of planning done. And I wanted to do something different today by bringing on my good friend, Lance Kohler, who is a former client of mine and a friend of mine for what feels like a little bit of forever. I did his work years ago, and it's still bringing him peace of mind today. So I wanted to talk to him a little bit about that, but what it's meant to him and his family, why he decided to go ahead and get it done. And then I want to share with you a special offer. So stick around to the end. This won't be too long, but I want you to hear from people who have actually done this process, have done it with me, and have benefited from it. So without further ado, my friend Lance Kohler.
How are you?
All right, man. How are you?
Good seeing you.
Good to see you. So I got a question for you.
Sure.
And here's what it is. First off, what is it that made you want to go ahead and get your planning done those years ago?
Yeah, at the time, my wife and I had a kid on the way.
Yep.
Who is 6 years old right now. And we now have a 2-year-old as well. And for me, it kind of came down to just wanting to make sure that at the end of my life, and at the end of my wife's life, God forbid, that they would be taken care of, that we'd have all the finances in order, and any sort of end of life issues taken care of, as far as if I were to be incapacitated or whatnot. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Now I'm trying to remember, how old was Catherine when you guys decided to get your planning done? Do you remember?
Catherine, I believe, was one.
Okay, so you got on it pretty quickly.
Yeah, we got it on pretty quick.
And that's a really important thing to do, by the way. Getting it done soon, getting it done early makes all the difference, because we don't know when we're going to go, what's going to happen in life, right? We know for a fact we're going to go. We just don't know exactly when or how. So owning that and getting in front of it, like Lance and Jessica did, makes all the sense in the world. So we went ahead, and when you were working with me, how did you find the process? Was it, well, you tell me, what was it like to work with me?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like a pretty straightforward process. And, we just gave Duncan the information that he needed. It wasn't very complicated at all. He just asked us simple questions, kind of just an interview process, told us we told him what was important to us, what we wanted in the will. And we worked through that. And really, I mean, I don't think it took much more than an hour, maybe a little bit longer, because we're friends and we tend to joke around.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. But beyond that, it was pretty straightforward.
Excellent. So here's the biggie, because I think it's important to understand the reason to do this sort of thing ultimately is because you love people, right? I mean, you love those who you are responsible for and others, and you're looking for, let's face it, peace of mind. At the end of this, that's what you really want. But I don't want to put a bunch of words in your mouth. You tell me.
Let me talk about peace of mind.
Yeah, please do.
Because part of the other reason why I did this is because in my own family, immediate family, I had a death in the family. And while there was some planning, there wasn't as much planning as there could have been. And I saw that family member really struggle through a lot of that. And I saw that, and I just didn't want that for my family. So that was one of the other reasons why I wanted to, hop, skip, and jump into, Duncan's office and to get this done.
And so when you did get it done, what was your feeling at the end of it all? What was your response when we got the documents signed, you pushed back from the table? How'd you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where no one really wants to talk about end of life issues, but once you do and you get through it, the piece that kind of comes along with that is great, because it's set, it's done, it's good to go, and God forbid if anything were to happen to me or my wife, I know my kiddos would be taken care of, and they would have a very clear roadmap of where to go and what to do after we're gone.
And when you got your planning done, I just want you to let you know, I want to give you one other couple that I worked with. So you understand it's not just Lance that's worked with me and has had that response to this. I want you to hear from a couple other friends of mine, Aaron and Stephanie. I did work for them a few years ago.
We felt a sense of confidence about the future.
Yeah.
And a calmness, realizing that should anything unexpected happen, that we had a plan. And so it just felt really good to know that we're taking care of our kids.
It made us feel responsible.
And that kind of response is really typical for what happens when you get your planning done. And so you've heard it from Lance, you heard it from Aaron and Stephanie. I want you to understand that's a universal reaction. I've been doing this kind of work for more than 10 years. And every single time, whether somebody's single, married, has kids, no kids, the response is always exactly the same. Document signed, push back from the table, and you can just see the relief and peace of mind wash over people. That's completely normal and natural. They know they've gotten something important done, and they don't have to think about it now. That nagging voice that was at the back of their mind gets silenced. And then every once in a while, they do want to pull that stuff off the shelf. They want to review and make sure that it still makes sense for them and their family, what they've set up. In fact, Lance and I are going to be talking more about that in the not too distant future for him and his family. But that's the sort of thing where you can do it, you can set it aside, and then as needed, you pull it back off the shelf. It's not something that has to be constantly in the back of your mind.
Right.
And so, Lance, here's the biggie.
Sure.
Would you recommend people work with me?
Absolutely. Of course. I mean, well, he's my best friend, but beyond being my best friend, I would trust no one else to take care of my end of life issues and wills and trusts and everything else, honestly. So
I appreciate that, man. I want you to know it's not just my good friends who are telling me these things. I want you to hear from people who are friends of mine, but who don't know me as much as this guy. Right. I want to hear from a couple that I worked with named Noel and Jennifer. Here's what they had to say when I asked whether they'd recommend that people work with me.
Absolutely, you're very easy to work with and made things simple and straightforward for us.
And that's what I want to do with 1 Hour Wills, with what I'm working on right now. So the offer that I have for you during this time is, especially while the market I know has obviously undergone a tremendous contraction and things are uncertain, and we want people to get this done for themselves and their loved ones. Well, I was about to, with my practice, I had been looking at, frankly, raising my prices before all of this, because what I've been doing for people, here's how my process works, is that if you like me, if you like what you're hearing here and you'd like to have me do work for you, you grab an hour on my calendar. If you look below, you'll see how you can grab an hour with me. Just go on it's a Calendly link. You go on, you grab an hour, we talk. There's a short questionnaire that you'll do beforehand to help prepare for that, but we'll have that discussion for an hour. It's completely free and there's no commitment or obligation. If you like what you're hearing, I'll have gathered information from you during our conversation that will enable me to go ahead and draft documents for you if you want me to. When I do, I will post them up within 24 hours on a site that you can go ahead and you can review those documents completely for free and without obligation for a week. If you like them, then you'll pay just $297, and that's not per person. So if you're married and you're wondering, is it almost $600? No, it's $297 total for the both of you. That's it. And you'll have, after you've gone through that week of review, you can also ask me questions during that time by email, and I will make any adjustments that are necessary along the way. If you're wondering, is it just a will? No, it's a will. It's a trust, your choice of a testamentary trust or a revocable living trust. It's a power of attorney document, and then healthcare documents, including a healthcare power of attorney, a living will, and a HIPAA authorization. So it is a complete package to make sure that you have what you need to take care of yourself and your family. Because it's not just when you're gone. We've talked a lot about what happens when you're gone. But what happens if you need help while you're still here, but you're incapacitated? That's exactly what most of those documents are about. So you'll get all of those for just $297 for two of you, right? Whether you're single or married, it's the same price, okay? It's the same conference that we'll have. And I got to tell you, people are loving this process. I want you to do it. But the special offer is this. During this time when people are so concerned, and rightly so, about coronavirus and are looking for ways to help combat it, in addition to what everybody is doing, the important bit about generally keeping, this is as close as I've been to anybody, not my wife or my kids, I got to promise you, but we're pretty sure we're healthy here, is that, people are keeping their distance. But one other thing that we can do is we can help fund the fight against it worldwide. So for anybody who signs up between now and the end of March, at least, I'm going to keep this going for a little while, and you go ahead, you keep your documents, you like them, I'm going to give $25 from each plan, paid for plan. I'm going to give $25 to World Vision. They are shipping hygiene kits around the world. So I want to make sure that we can support that effort, and you can be a part of it by getting something done that's good for you and your family right now. So $25 from every plan goes to that. And also, in honor of Women's History Month, I'm going to be giving $25 to Scarlet Hope, which is a ministry here in Louisville, but also regional. It's in sort of the Southeast region, and it's growing all the time, that helps women exit the so-called adult entertainment industry that is such a blight on humanity and is just a horrible thing. So we want to help free women from that, help them get out of that and get on to lives that are amazing and productive, and to share the gospel with them along the way. So if that sounds good to you, if you're ready to take care of yourself and your family in this way, then understand that right now is a great time to pull that trigger. I can only do this for people in Kentucky. You have to be a Kentucky resident. Okay, so check your driver's license if you're wondering, am I a Kentucky resident? If you just live here, but you're a legal resident of another state, I can't help you. But if you are a legal resident here of Kentucky, I can help you. I want to help you. For just $297, you can get this done for your family in a lot less time than you think. And you can help these two great causes of fighting coronavirus and helping free women from the sex trade. It's a horrible thing, but we can fight it together. Thanks so much for taking the time. If you have any questions, let me go and see if anybody is up. I'm not seeing anything at the red hot moment. For those who did join today, thank you so much. And please do grab that time on my calendar. There is no commitment and there's no cost. So you have absolutely nothing to lose and only peace of mind for you and your family to gain. Take care, everybody. Thanks. Bye-bye.